Drum roll, please. Today we have the amazing Mariah Lee from Mariah Lee Creative joining us from the beautiful Fraser Coast. Created to be creative is Mariah's slogan, and she is someone that is constantly inspiring me and always seems to be doing something new. I'm excited for this episode. I'm excited to hear a bit more about Mariah's journey. So thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy. Hey Mariah, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Thanks for coming on the For the Creatives podcast.
That's okay. No worries. You kind of sprung it on me, but that's all right. I'm here.
Well, I've been wanting to have you on this show for quite a while now because you're someone that I've sort of been inspired by from afar.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're an extremely creative person and you do quite a few things. So why don't you tell us a bit of what you do?
I definitely do a lot of things. So my main business, my business name is Mariah Lee Creative. So that's my name, Mariah Lee. And it's mainly photography. So I do a lot of portraits, weddings, business brandings, product photography, and I'm actually just delving into apparel. So I'm just going straight in, giving it a go. So it is going to be faith-based, so Christian clothing. I don't want it to be cheesy. I just want it to be fun and cool. Well, I think it's cool anyway. Yeah. But yeah, I do photography and apparel currently. That's what I do. That's
awesome. And yeah, I've had a sneak peek of some of the items and they look very cool.
You have. Thank you.
So you're a very creative person. It's even in your business name, Mariah Lee Creative. Have you always been creative?
I'd say so.
Yeah?
As a kid, yeah. Used to draw, paint and whatever. My mum's very creative, so it's probably where it comes from. Well, it's all through our family, actually. As a kid or teen, I would take photos, force my brother to go in the front garden and take photos with me. Poor guy. Very musical family as well.
Yeah.
So another line of creativity that we have. Yeah, I was a makeup artist for 8 years.
Oh, wow. I think I remember hearing about that or seeing some photos. And
everything creative. So yes, I've always been creative.
That's awesome. So one of your core services is photography. Is that right?
Yeah.
So what got you into photography?
Well, like I said, I took photos a lot when I was a kid. I had a little Fujifilm and I thought it was the coolest kid on the block. So yeah, I used to take a lot of photos of animals, landscapes, go down to the park. And then once I left school, I went into makeup artistry and I loved doing that, different type of art. But I kind of just got bored of the same thing over and over again. So I'm like, you know what? I'm okay at taking photos. Maybe I can give that a go.
Yeah.
And I love anything creative. So different kinds of photos. I love lights, making it into something that you don't see with your own eyes. It's another world. Yeah.
Creating the whole experience, I guess.
I see it when I'm taking a photo. I see it before it's already.
Visualize the end product. And that's really cool. I think one question that comes up a lot with people I speak to is whether people are born creative or not. Now, what is your take on that?
I reckon you are 100%. My tagline is created to be creative. And I fully believe that God has created me to be a creative person and use the art tools that he's given me to share his love. And
that's really cool.
I 100% think that people are born creative. I mean, you could probably learn it, but you've got to have an eye for it.
Yeah. I definitely think everyone, has a seed and, has some form of the tools that we need to be creative, think creatively, but some people just have been developing that or have been in environments that help them develop that side of things and help them think creatively or critically. Yeah. And touching on the faith side of things as well. I love nature. I love hiking. I love waterfalls. I love, mountains and the hinterland and rainforest. And it just always amazes me, looking at everything in nature and looking at, everything from, as corny as it may sound, the stars or the clouds or everything, and being if the same, if the God who created that created me too, then surely I was also, have that creative essence in me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So you do a lot of different creative services and creative things under your brand, but you also work full-time, is it?
Yeah, I work full-time. I'm a store manager of Harvey Bay Computers, shameless plug. And yeah, we do like computer repairs, devices, help businesses, help all the oldies when they don't know how to use their phone. Yeah, you come across a lot of people in that job also. So I like helping the oldies, and I always joke to them, oh, well, you're my new adoptive grandparent today. So yeah, but yeah, I also work full time as well as everything else.
Yeah. How do you fit time in for everything?
I don't. I don't, but I somehow do at the same time.
Have you got any, or maybe even just like one maybe habit that helps you structure your life or organize things, or even whether it's a morning routine or something? Is there one habit that you have in your life that sort of helps you with everything you do?
I mean, my life is the same. Like I wake up, have me coffee, take me dog outside to go to the loo. The dog go to the loo, not me. Let's clarify that. I then get ready, go to work, and then I come home, have dinner, and I work on my businesses. But I think the one thing that keeps me structured and grounded is my mum. She's my admin. She's looking at my calendar. She books it all in for me.
Yeah.
If I didn't have her, like I crumble, and she's seen that before. She's like, okay, well, I'm doing it again. So yeah.
It's really nice. I think it's really important to have as well.
Get yourself a personal assistant.
And even just thinking about it, like having that routine with your job at Harvey Bay Computers, even just having that morning routine with taking your dog for a walk, I feel like, just like even unintentionally, maybe that might help you with everything you're doing, having like, some set routine or having some things that are stable whilst you're then doing all these other creative things and jumping up from different like jobs and things on the side. Yeah. Does that sound right?
Yeah. Well, I don't take my dog for a walk. When I say take her outside, she's just going to the backyard. I would love to take my dog for a walk, but motivation.
Yeah.
Well, like if I have a morning coffee, like if I don't have a morning coffee, I feel like frazzled, like I haven't had my time. At the end of the day, though, a habit that I have started this year, I got a 1 line a day journal because I suck at writing journals. I've always wanted to document. But yeah, it basically has like 3 to 4 lines like for the day. Yeah. And you just write quick sentence of like how your day's gone. So I've been doing that, and then I read a bit of my Bible. That's probably a habit that I have, but that's at the end of the day.
But that's still really good. I think, journaling helps you to, even if it's 1 line a day, get some of those thoughts or reflect a bit and get that out of your head.
It's been good. It's natural now to just, I get into bed and I write a couple of sentences. Yeah.
So you have coffee in the morning, but I have tea in the morning. Okay. I have like a deck at my house, and most mornings I'd go out there and have a tea early in the morning. And I saw on your website that you are not a tea drinker. Apparently.
No, I'm not. Oh no.
Is that any tea or just?
Yeah, and like who wants to boil some grass? Drink it. I don't get it.
Me.
Coffee all the way.
I love caffeine. I love coffee, but I feel like I can have like, I don't know, most teas have a bit of caffeine in, but I can have like 6-7 teas in a day. I don't normally do that, but if I had 6 to 7 coffees in a day, I would be psycho. Like really? I would be nuts. Yeah.
It doesn't affect me. Like I could have a coffee at 1 a.m. and go to sleep. I mean, like, do I sleep properly? These are questions I ask myself, but I don't feel like it does anything.
We've just got Seela joining in here. Your making an beautiful dog. Guarding the house from anyone that tries to come in and disrupt the podcast. So touching on the photography again, do you have a like most memorable or your like favorite shoot that you've done in the past?
Ooh,
what comes to mind?
That's a good question. I love all of them, but I'd have to say it'd be my like very first wedding that I did was for a couple called Rob and Jenna, and they had a nighttime wedding out at Penella Park Coach House, and it was beautiful. It was so nice. It was like late afternoon, so they were getting married just as sunset, and then the rest like was just all at night. It was beautiful fairy lights, and like I love fairy lights. That whole property is so pretty at nighttime, and it was just fun that the whole wedding was that night.
Yeah.
That would have to be my favorite.
Oh, that's cool. It sounds nice.
Yeah, it was really, I just can't, the photos, wow.
And how long have you been doing like photography, paid photography now?
Since the start of 2019. So what's that, 3 years?
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Just before COVID.
Just before.
Has that affected, your photography and your work much? Or?
Yeah, so like obviously the first year of COVID, it affected pretty much like everyone in the whole world.
Yeah.
Most of my stuff was rescheduled to the next year, but like 2021 was, I'd say, relatively normal. Yeah. But it was just 2020. Obviously, like no one was allowed to go anywhere, so weddings were postponed and
I can't believe it's been 2 years with COVID.
I know,
it's
we're
crazy.
going in our third. Oh.
So what would you tell someone starting out in photography? Like if there was someone who's a bit interested in cameras or taking photos or wanting to get into it on a more of a professional side of things or starting to, build up some paid work or do amateur photography. Do you have any tips or any advice or?
Advice would be to have fun.
Yeah. Don't
stress yourself out about it, because I did that and it just makes it worse.
Yeah.
So like have fun. It's your art. Like people draw a scriggle on a canvas and people pay thousands of dollars for it. So like art is anything that you make it. So have fun with it. Don't think that you're dodgy, because you're not. You're probably not. In terms of like your equipment, you don't need a fancy camera. Again, talking to my 3 years ago self, you don't need like the latest and greatest.
Yeah.
People used to take photos on film cameras and they were amazing.
And now that trend has sort of come back.
Yeah.
Or that's come back as a trend. Yeah.
And some people don't mind like fuzzy photographs. It gives it a whole like new feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So like have fun. Don't stress about your equipment. As long as you have like a digital camera, you're fine. You don't need Photoshop and Lightroom to color grade. Just find a program on the internet. Like photos don't have
Windows image editor.
I don't even know. Like, do they have filters? As long as you can fix like exposure, contrast. Yeah, pretty much. You can, do a presentable image.
Yeah.
Obviously, you'll adapt your style as you go along.
And grow and get better.
And another tip I would say is don't copy someone's style, but be inspired from them.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're making it your own. Yeah, because you'll probably get stuck in that and get upset that you can't produce that same photo every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's really good advice. I read something today. It was, if you want to be good at anything, you've got to be bad at it first.
Yes.
And
amen.
Yeah. I think you've probably experienced it. I've definitely experienced it.
Yeah.
And it's never fun. Well, I don't know, depending on who you are. But for me, it's never fun when you start out. There's the initial excitement of something, or, you get like, really, you see this vision or you see this like idea of what you want to do, and it's something new or a new skill, a new talent, and then you get started and like you realize that your actual skill level isn't up to par with what you're visualizing yet.
Yeah,
and it's that like tension you've got to manage between and being a perfectionist myself doesn't help.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Yeah, but for me, just taking it day by day and like, trying to get better and not beat myself up on whatever it is. Yeah. Definitely helps.
My nana always says, practice makes perfect.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. And I heard someone this week actually put it differently. They said, perfect practice makes perfect. Because if you practice the wrong thing again and again.
True.
Yeah. But I think most people understand that though when they say the saying.
My nana's just being nice to me.
Yeah, she sounds very sweet. So being a very creative person and doing so many different things, where do you get inspired from, or what makes you feel inspired?
The Lord does.
Yes.
Jesus, God, he does. Like how you were talking about nature before, every time, like if I'm out, I don't know, and I see like a landscape or even like the stars, like when I'm taking my dog out to do a wee at nighttime, I look at the stars and I'm like, wow, like creation.
Yeah.
Like everything to do with the creation, nature, animals, the flora, like everything is so amazing. And that gives me inspiration because like you said before, like he created that and he's created me.
Yeah.
And surely I can make something just as beautiful. Probably not.
Yeah.
Like God's pretty amazing, but like in your art, yeah. Like every time, I'm not ashamed to say this, every time I do a photo shoot, I pray on the way.
Yeah.
And I say, God, like help me show your nature and your love through my work and how I am with people. And like I'm not, going there being like, hey guys, I'm a Christian. Like it's just me being me.
Yeah.
Letting God use my tools.
It's part of who you are, and something
and
that's core to you.
He always shows up when people see the images. They're in love with what I've produced for them, and I know it's from Him.
That's really cool. It's like a covert evangelism, sort of, maybe.
Bless this photograph. No,
it's cool.
Yeah.
So today you did the photo shoot. I was just involved in it.
You were a model.
Let's not use that word. No, we did, a photo shoot for your new clothing line, or your first. And
I know.
Yeah.
We did. I'm coming out with apparel, like I said earlier, kingdom-focused apparel.
Yeah.
And it's still under Mariah Lee Creative because that just encompasses everything.
Yeah.
So we did some photos. We were bringing out some shirts and accessories. Look, I'll be honest, I cried last night because nothing was going right. My screen printing wasn't working. Yeah, but that's part of the journey.
Yeah.
Like I'm learning a new skill and all of a sudden trying to make a business out of it.
Yeah.
And I know as time goes on, it'll get better and I'll get into the rhythm of it. But hey, the products look great today, so I'm very excited.
You're already starting really strong. Like the designs are very cool. Like
Thank you.
I'm definitely buying a shirt.
Awesome.
So that is so exciting. New clothing line coming out. Where can people find it if they wanna buy something or have a little look-see?
So you can jump onto Instagram or Facebook, shop.mariahleecreative. Mariah as in Mariah Carey if you need the spelling. So you can jump on there and there'll be a link to my website, which is just shop.mariahleecreative.com. Everything's the same. Currently, until I do the launch, there'll be a subscription box just to pop your email address in, and you may or may not get a little surprise in your email on launch day.
Oh, that sounds exciting. That is amazing. I have to go put my email in there.
Yeah, do it.
So your tagline, created to be creative,
yes.
Right? I love that. I've actually written that down in a few places myself over the years. Do you have any other things in your life that, like things that aren't part of your work that you feel like, I don't know, just represent things that you do, or like hobbies or things that you are outside of your paid work? Does that make sense?
I'm a worship leader at my church. That's probably the other creative thing that I do.
Yeah.
My hobbies, honestly, are my businesses.
Yeah.
That's my hobbies. I love my work. So it's not really work. But I'd say, worship leading, that would be the other thing tied into the creative aspect.
Yeah.
Anything musical. Yeah.
That's cool. You said your hobbies are your work, but the things that you like doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I've tried to explain this to people before because sometimes I can work too much, but just like in general work. But I've tried to explain the separation that I have between work I do for clients and work I do on my own projects. That's stuff that I'm passionate about and I would spend all my time building or doing, like this podcast. And even I do a bit of photography on the side, but nothing, as professional or serious as you. But things like that for me, they still may be a formal work or seem like work to other people, but for me, it's stuff that I'm passionate about. I'm sort of I don't know, I feel energized, not all the time, but feel energized when I'm working in that space a lot.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah, but it's not always the easiest thing to explain.
No.
And then to other people, it just seems like I'm working 24/7.
Yes. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to organize things with me, social aspect of my life is almost impossible.
Yeah.
Because I'm I've got work to do tonight. But for me, it's editing a client's gallery or trying to screen print T-shirts. It doesn't feel like my 9-to-5 job.
Yeah. And you're also you have, I think, a bit more choice in doing it. You've chosen to do this clothing line. You've chosen to do certain things because you want to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I can't see any negative in all of us, trying to develop our creative talents or abilities a bit more.
Yeah.
There's a story in the Bible. I can't remember exactly where. I think it's in the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, I think. A man who was paralyzed.
Yeah.
And Jesus was inside this building preaching, and the paralyzed man couldn't get inside. So these guys came and they made an opening in the roof above Jesus and lowered the man down.
Yeah.
And to me, that is a picture of critical thinking, problem solving and creative thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there are so many issues that we face in our personal lives, in our communities, even on a bigger, like, national or global scale. You know, we need more people to be critical thinkers, problem solvers, and to just be creative.
Yeah.
And I think I've mentioned this in a couple episodes, but I believe that each of us have something to give to the world. Something, we each have a different talents or skills or things inside of us. And by developing them and by growing those gifts inside of us, it benefits all of the people around us.
Yeah, definitely.
So I love the slogan, created to be creative.
Me too.
So sometimes I think I find it difficult to explain in short words what I do to some people.
Mm-hmm.
Then I saw this, I think it was a YouTube video, and it was like people from all different types of careers explaining their jobs to, I think, 4-year-olds or something like that.
Yeah.
How would you explain your, like, Mariah Lee creative, what you do under there, to a 4-year-old?
Okay. I have a camera and I take photos of things that I find pretty, and I like to paint on shirts. Sometimes very poorly.
I'm sure any 4-year-old would love that. They'd be like,
paint on a shirt.
That's the job. That's the job I want. I want to be like you, Mariah, when I'm older. How do you feel your younger self, like maybe 16 years old, would feel about where you are now?
Wow.
It's a big question for some people.
It is. Okay, so if I go back to 16, I would have been in grade 11? I wanted to be a music teacher and I had no idea how to read music. So I've always had this trait that I try things that I don't know how to do.
Nice.
Which is fine. So looking at my life now, if I was 16, man, I'd be like, why are you working in computers? You don't have any interest in computers. And I guess, like, in terms of, like, my creative side, because I took photos, like, of different things when I was 16, I probably would have been like, wow, I can actually, like, grow this into, like, a business. That's crazy.
Get paid for it.
Like, I'm actually getting paid for it. And if my 16-year-old self saw myself now making, like, apparel for God, should probably be very proud that I'm still following God and making something that's proclaiming his kingdom. Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah.
Should be like, wow, this is my life. Cool.
Just living my life. No, that's very cool. So what is next for Mariah Lee Creative? Like, do you have a bit of a overarching vision, or, like, you're doing a lot right now, like, you've achieved so much, you're doing a lot,
Yes.
But do you have, like, an overarching vision or dream or something of what you want to achieve or where you want to go with everything?
I 100% do. I would love to have a studio. So I don't know if anyone who's listening has seen, there's this place overseas called Selfie World, I think.
Selfie World.
And basically what they have is, like, it's basically like a big warehouse, and they have sections, like, all little rooms basically. And they're all, like, different themes, all set up where you can just go in and take photos of yourself. I guess it's just, like, something for the public. But I would love something like that has spaces set up for creatives and business people to come in and use the space for their content creation, and have a place, like a proper photography studio for other photographers to do, like, proper studio work. Because there's not much around this area for that. Like, there's nothing here for us to go and do that in. And it would have my apparel in there, maybe a coffee section, just like, I don't even know what that would be called, just a content space, but you can go and work there if you need. Or
that sounds amazing, like a really cool creative content creation hub.
It's like a creative hub. I like that.
That's cool. That's awesome.
That's the overall vision. That's where I would love to be. And obviously I'm hoping the apparel side takes off as well. so that we would need a warehouse where things are being printed and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll check back in with you sometime in the future.
Okay.
And see how it's going. But one of the things that I think I really admire, but also like a point of difference that you have with everything is that, you're still working a full-time job in another, I mean, it's still I can say it's still a bit of a creative space, but it's still working a full-time job and then doing everything else outside of that.
Yeah.
Like I think some people think that they need to fully quit their jobs or everything to start pursuing, something they're passionate about or building a brand. And I mean, in the episode before this, I talk about myself taking the leap and quitting my job completely to pursue my creative career. But not everyone needs to do that.
No.
And you might have an end goal where you maybe, I don't know, work towards being more full-time in your own stuff. But you can be successful and have a successful brand, I think, working in a space you're passionate about without having to, completely go cold turkey and quit wherever you're working.
Yeah, like side hustles are so popular. I've noticed especially over COVID, like people have needed to come up with creative ways to generate an income for themselves.
Yeah.
But side hustles are hard work because you are dedicating most of your time to someone someone else's business, but your nights and weekends are free for your side hustle. So it is doable. It is hard work.
Yeah.
But you can do it. And one day your hard work pays off.
Yeah. Well, it's really inspiring to see everything you're doing.
Thank you.
And I think you're an extremely creative person. Like, that. Thanks. And you probably get told that a lot. But I admire it. It's really cool.
Oh, thank you.
So I have one last question.
Okay.
If you could have a billboard with anything on it in the middle of the busiest highway, what would it be and why?
Wow, what a question.
People get stumped on this one. Some people just give a super quick answer off the top of their head. But most people I find just like, they're not sure. It's a lot of pressure. It's like, what would one thing, it's like, what would you want your life to say? Like at the end of the day, if there was like one sentence that your life could say.
A billboard on like a highway.
Yeah.
Well, with that kind of opportunity, I would use one of the photos that we took today for the apparel, and because it's got a big bold statement on it for the Lord. So I would have that up there. So people driving past, I can't say it just yet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was about to say it.
Can I say it?
Well, this won't be released probably for another week from the date we're recording.
Okay, well, I can probably say it. It would say, P.S. Jesus loves you. And I think that's such an important message that the world needs to hear, especially in times like this. Yeah, so it would be one of the photos we took today with that big and bold on the billboard.
I love that. And I think that is a great way to end today's episode. So thank you so much, Mariah, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
That's all right. Anytime. And if people want to find you on Instagram or Facebook, it is...
Mariah Lee Creative is my photography, or shop.mariahleecreative.
Nice. And I'll link that in the description below. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode and that there's something that stood out to you. If there is, why not chuck us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and let us know what you think. If there's anything you're interested in hearing about or anyone you would like to have on this podcast, feel free to send us a message on Instagram as well, and we'll get back to you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of this journey and following along.